right, so today we are going to be covering Cloudways Autonomous, and this relates directly to how websites are impacted by huge amounts of traffic. We're going to delve a little bit later into what Cloudways Autonomous is, but let's have a look at what can happen or how businesses are affected by website crashes when they have huge amounts of traffic coming over. So first of all, obviously we're talking about revenue loss, which is the most important thing when you have a website. So in general, on average, a website downtime can cost a business up to 5,600 per minute, which is insane. Of course, these figures can vary greatly depending on the nature of the business, but it really can cripple your business if your website has downtime, especially when you are trying to, for example, launch a course, or you're trying a new campaign and you have an amazing campaign that brings you a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic is amazing, but if you don't have a good infrastructure in place for that traffic to come in and withheld the spikes, then you are in big trouble of losing a lot of revenue. All right, so let's talk about why websites crash. So we covered traffic spikes. This is one of the reasons. Another reason is server overload. So imagine if you have users and processes trying to take space on the server at the same time during high peak traffic time. That is going to make your website crash. Cyber attacks, which can happen to anyone at any time. DDoS attacks, where they look for issues to your website or send traffic, immense amounts of traffic to your website so they can crash it and attack it. And last but not least is poor hosting management, which is one of those things where you think that you save money on hosting and nothing will happen, but in the end you pay a bigger price than you would pay if you chose a good hosting provider, one that offers reliable services and support. All right, so let's see what can a website crash mean for your business, or what happened in the past when websites of important businesses have crashed. For example, in 2018, I think Amazon's website crashed for 63 minutes or so during Prime Day. And as we know, Prime Days is one of those days that everybody flocks to Amazon, and the traffic was insane. You would be surprised if I tell you if they lost $150 million only in 63 minutes, 1 hour. So let's focus a little bit in 2014. What happened in February? Taylor Swift's website crashed, and at the beginning, in the first few minutes, people thought that it was caused on purpose, but actually it wasn't, because she was promoting, I think, an album and a tour, Eras tour or something like that. Not a big fan of Taylor Swift, but anyway. And her website crashed and people could not purchase tickets. People could not do anything on her website. Ticketmasters lost revenue because they are the ones that are selling tickets for her concert. And it was the whole situation where her image as well was tarnished, and people, although her community is pretty big, her image was a little bit scuffed because of this incident. So nobody is safe from the wrath of the user. That's why you have to protect your website and your business's reputation, therefore. All right, so what you can do to make sure that your website doesn't crash: choose a reliable hosting provider, make sure that you update your software and that you use CDN, as well as manage effectively your traffic. Coder.io has issued a report for performance benchmarks for Cloudways Autonomous, Kinsta, and WP Engine. And as you can see, the results are in, and Cloudways seems to be doing pretty well. But I will leave a link to this report in the description below so you can read further. All right, so let's have a look at Cloudways Autonomous at a more granular level and its features. All right, so let's have a look at Cloudways Autonomous features and let's see what they actually offer. So as you can see, as they say on their website, they handle high traffic WordPress hosting and they make it better. So the focus here on these features is basically on Integrated Object Cache Pro, which makes your checkout and your cart super responsive, super fast, which we all want. And integrated Cloudflare Enterprise. So it helps deliver the fastest possible experience regardless of geolocation. Also, 24/7 expert support. Support is super important whenever you are faced with any issues with your website. So knowing that you have support from your host is, in my eyes, one of the best. And they have human support, not AI support. Security, SSL, WAF, DDoS. As we said, these are very important when you're running a very big e-commerce, for example, or even a blog. Something that is so important is security. Also, automated backups and staging. Backups are super important. Again, I have to stress this again and again. I would pull my hair out of my head if I didn't have backup from my host provider. So this is very important. Anyway, as you can see here, we have a few stats that we can go over and read. So add to carts per second, as well as checkouts per second, average response time, which is extremely important. As I said, requests per second, and error rates. So this is something that you can read a little bit more in detail on their page. And you have also frequently asked questions if you have further questions that you did not get from this video. All right, let's look at some real world examples of businesses benefiting from Cloudways Autonomous, meaning that they actually use this service for their business. And let's look at Spitfire competitions. Their problem was they needed the reliable hosting to handle high traffic during major competitions. And their solution, they opted for Cloudways Autonomous for its high uptime and scalability. And the benefit, experienced seamless performance, robust reliability during peak traffic time. Now, Local & Co., their problem was they required efficient resources allocation for their growing e-commerce site. And the solution, they chose Cloudways for its efficient resources management and strong security. And the benefit, they improved their site speed and security, leading to a better user experience and increased sales, which is exactly what an e-commerce owner wants. And another use case, this time, is why the fuss? So their problem, they needed 24/7 support and high uptime for their high traffic blog. And the solution was adopting Cloudways Autonomous for its reliable support and uptime guarantee. So again, it goes to show that choosing the right hosting provider is extremely important, especially if your business needs scalability. All right, so let's have a look at the price of one website for one application, meaning one application, and 30K unique visitors and 100 gigabyte bandwidth. I think it's pretty fair. Imagine what you would need to run a full-on IT or let's say dev team department, how much that would cost you yearly, monthly, to keep that running, to make sure that they keep your website running instead of Cloudways Autonomous, which takes all that and packages in one plan, whichever plan you need for your business. So in our case, is going to be one website for $35 per month. All right, so I'm in the back end of my Cloudways, and I am going to go to Cloudways Autonomous from here, my applications, and I need to give a name to my application. So I'm gonna call it Chain Shop. Select my region. Since I am close to Frankfurt, I'm going to choose Frankfurt, but you can choose any of these other three regions. I'm gonna click Frankfurt and I'm gonna go with WooCommerce. You can choose WordPress, but we are going to try to see how a WooCommerce store, e-commerce store behaves on Cloudways. Okay, so now it's going to take about 3 minutes, actually less than 3 minutes to set this up, and I'll come back with our application. All right, so our application has been built for us, and this is how it's going to look. So let's see what we have here. Okay, we can create staging, we can clone the application or delete the application from here. We can access it from here. Let's open up and let's see what we have. And this is your basic website, right? so we can access our shop from here, account, checkout, and everything else as standard. So let's go to see more details on this application. So first we get an overview. All right, so quick settings, we have SSH and SFTP details, domain management, and database access from here. Very useful. All right, then we have the option to create our staging environment right from here. We have the resources, basically total visits and total disk space used. We can see that, and as well the bandwidth. All right, let's go to see performance. What are we talking about here? So we have two very interesting caching details. And Object Cache Pro is integrated with WordPress itself and the dashboard. So, and we also have Cloudflare CDNs. Let's go and have a look at workflow and tools. So we can, right now we don't have any backups, but we can create backups or restore from backups that we have created or have been created automatically for us. We have PHP settings if you are more of a developer or you want simply to increase all these limits here. You can do so from here. And then we have the staging management, and you can launch your staging application from here. All right, let's go to intelligence, and here we can see the access and error logs. So as you can see, all the access logs so far and error logs. Let's see if there are any so far. Seems like there were, yes. So that's that. Let's go to view credentials from here. So these are our WordPress credentials. If I want to log in into the back end of my WordPress website, I can do so from here. So let's go and log in. And this is my, and let's log in and let's see what's happening in the backend right now. You can read all this. Let's go to settings, object cache. Let's see what this does in the backend. Not connected. We have to connect it with our license token, but this is just a test website, so this would not be a problem. All right, so as you can see, we have our WooCommerce here and our dashboard as you would normally see it. All right, so I wanted to stress test this for traffic spikes to see how the application would withstand the traffic spikes sent to it. And as you can see from this video, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. I have sent over 100 virtual users in 5 minutes, basically 5 minutes time, to see how this will impact the application setup. And it did pretty well at some point at the beginning. As you can see, the red line kind of spiked, and I think that's when Autonomous kicked in to help the website stay available for the users to be accessed. So I think it did pretty well. This is just a minimal test that I did. It's not a huge scale test, but I think this can help get an idea of how reliable this product is.
We also did a test to see how fast the website would respond, and these are the results. I think it's pretty good, but this is just a minimal test. You would have to test it yourself on your own application.
So for best practices when using Cloudways Autonomous, make sure that you always have an overview of what's happening with your website from your dashboard. You can see everything that's happening here. Make sure that you check your performance and go to intelligence for traffic analysis as well, and logs to see what is happening here, as well as regular backups and if you need to restore your application. So these are just some things that are good practice in general, whatever host you're using. All right, I hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions, please drop them in the description below. I'll have links to everything I have talked to, even sources if need be, to see and read in at your own pace. And that's it. See you next time.